Welcome to my YouTube channel. Subscribe, like, share and drop your comments. Thank you.
In this tutorial, we'll learn how to make a draped mini dress. This dress is so beautiful and it is easy to sew. Stay with me as we learn how to make it. As usual, the first thing we need is the pattern. I will demonstrate it using a pattern paper first before taking it to a fabric. And I will explain two methods to achieve this. So this is the paper I'll be using. It's a cardboard paper. I'll fold it into two the way I would normally fold my fabric. So I'll fold it into two like this, and I will draw a pattern. I will make a pattern of a dress, a short dress, since the dress we are making is short. So I'll be making a short dress pattern. After folding the paper, I'll put the length of the dress. So whatever is the length you want, then you input it. I'll be putting the length, and after putting the length, I will input the neck width and the shoulder slant. So after getting the shoulder slant, I will mark the back length, and from there I'll mark out my armhole. So I will input the bust, that is my bust circumference divided by 4. Whatever it is, I'll put it at the bust line. Then I'll mark the waistline also and input the waist measurement divided by 4. Then I will go to the hip. I will divide the hip by 4 as well, and I will mark the hip divided by 4. My hip circumference divided by 4. I'll put it, and then I will draw the dress, the shape of the dress. The next thing to do is to cut out this pattern. I'll cut out the pattern and I will duplicate it. That means I will make another pattern exactly like this. One pattern will be for the front and the other will be for the back. Now, if you cut the two pattern, then you can make if you don't want the neck to be the same, maybe you want the neckline of the front to be lower than the neckline of the back, then you mark it, or you mark the neckline the way you want it to be. So you just make sure one is for the front and one is for the back. But you can also make the neckline the same. And I must remember to tell you here that this dress does not have a zipper. So meaning your neckline should be wide enough for your head to pass through. So you'll be marking the neckline in a way that it will be wide enough for the neck to pass, for the head to pass through. You can make the neckline of the front and the back the same. You can make it different. You can make it V-shape. You can make it a round neckline. You can do whatever you like with the neckline. It doesn't matter. It depends on the variety or the design you want to add to your own. So at this point, I already have two. Patterns. As I said earlier, one will be for the front, one will be for the back. There is no zipper allowance. So the next thing is to take this pattern, I'll place it on another pattern paper. In this case, if you're not using pattern paper, you can place it directly on your fabric. I'll be showing you how you can place it on the fabric as we go in the video. But for now, I just want to explain to you what to do. So we are assuming this brown paper is our fabric. And if you still want to use pattern paper, you can. So one is the front and the other is the back. So what you do is you place them close to each other. They will meet at the hemline. That is at their hemline. That is where they will meet. And the upper parts, they will diverge. That means they will move apart. So it's as if you want to make a V at that center, if you know what I meant by that. So you just arrange it like this. And you can put a reference line for you to understand it properly. So now the distance between that V, if you want what will determine the V is the amount of material you have, and also where you want the sleeve, how long you want the sleeve to be. That is what will determine that opening. And how big or how large that space is will also determine the cowl effect, how full or how full the draping will be at that side. So that is the neckline for the front or for the back. Since I'm using a mirror image, my front and back will be the same. The only thing is, if you wear it one side, your draping might be to the left. If you turn it the other way, my draping will be to the right. So that is drawing a line. That line will be like my reference line. The line will join the shoulder like that. So that particular line, what determines how long it is what I explained earlier. The amount of material you have or the length of your sleeve. So I want to draw another reference line at that center so that I will know the center of my fabric, and I will know how to place the pattern well. So the both pattern will be on will be touching that reference line. So if you don't want the shape to be too wide, then you place it close. But if you want it big, then you diverge it. You see, the more you open it, the bigger that space in between them, and that will determine how full your drape will be. Now the other side of the armhole, if you want to add a little sleeve, you can add. And if you want it sleeveless also, you can do it. So basically, this is how to place your pattern on a pattern paper or on a fabric. If you are placing it on a fabric like this, then you don't have to fold your fabric into two. You just open the fabric and place your pattern like this. But when I want to cut, I will show you how to cut it on the fabric now, and I will show you how to use just one pattern. You don't need to duplicate it the way I did now. So just front pattern, especially if your neckline is the same. If you are using the same neckline for your front and your back, then you don't necessarily need to duplicate it like this. This is my fabric. This is my pattern on my fabric. I folded the fabric into two, just into two instead of opening it, and I used only one pattern paper, since my front and back will be the same. So I just placed it like this, and I made sure that the pattern is one side of my pattern is close to the edge, to the folded edge. Sorry, I didn't realize that my camera was not showing that part, but that side was close to the folded edge, and I deviate it. You see the way the pattern is. You see the way the pattern is. So that is how, if you want it to be more, then you pull it away from the edge from the folded edge at the upper part. That is if you want the drape to be more. I hope you understand what I'm. So I didn't know my camera was not showing the full image. So at that point, you see, that is the cowl part, the part that will drape by the side. That's the side that. So if you want it more, then you pull. You see the way I'm trying to position it. I'm pulling it away so that I can increase that part. And that part I am showing you from that side, that is where my sleeve will come out from my arm. That is like the sleeve. That part is where the arm will come out. That is where the arm will come out. And the other part, I will just join it. So the next thing is to just cut it. And I'll take it to my sewing machine to sew. So I'll come back and show you the final products of the sewing. So after joining the shoulder, this is what I have. That point I am holding, that is where my sleeve will that is where my arm will come out. So one side of this dress does not have a join, that is the cowl part does not have a joining. The only part that has joining is the other side, the sleeveless side. That is where the joining will be. But there will be a joining at that shoulder and at this other shoulder. I will join it from there till when I get to where I want my sleeve to be. So you can make the sleeve opening like 6. That is 6 times 2. That is like 12 circumference. So this is what I have. Thank you for watching and see you in my next tutorial. Bye.